Hi, April.
Resume. All right. So the question I have, oh, nice. Okay, 8A. So the question I have is after those events that you went to, did you connect with somebody? Do you have somebody that you connected with or that you do? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. And so you already followed up with them after the event? So um if you could connect with a few people and plan to follow up but haven't yet. Okay, okay, that's fine. That's why we're here. So if you could drop the link to the workbook in the chat, got business cards people and followed up. Okay, good, good. We're gonna talk about that. So you guys are answering perfectly to be in the right place. Do, 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 do. Followed up. Okay. Oh, you got business card from people and followed up. Okay. Close that. Everyone. There we go. Okay. So the reason why I asked that is because I want you to think about that event as we go through this session. I want you to think about any recent event that you went to and use it. So the goal of this session is not for it to be a you just watch me talk and take notes. This is a conversation. Feel free to share. That's why I always bring the chat up to the front, because I want it to be a more interactive session. And we're actually going to be using the workbook today. So big point that I feel like all of us need to talk about is kind of like the elephant in the room. We're jumping right into what's uncomfortable. Like you got stacks of business cards, or right now, sometimes you get so many business cards, you feel overwhelmed, or you feel like, okay, well, this is too much. This whole process is overwhelming. So I want to help you simplify that today. Maybe you came back with no cards. Maybe you go to those type of events and you didn't come back with any cards, and you just simply talk to people and was like, oh, well, just find me on LinkedIn, or, find me on LinkedIn, things like that. Do we have the workbook in the chat? Oh, let me go get the workbook 1 second. Um, doo-doo-doo. Okay, there we go. So grab that workbook and that'll be something that'll help you as you go through this, and you'll be able to use it. It is PDF fillable, so definitely use it. But what I want you to think about is while you all grab your workbooks and get ready, let me know when you got your workbook up and ready, is the amount of time and energy that you spend going to these events. So you done spent $2,000, you got registration for hotels, you got travel, you got meals. Some of us have to make arrangements for our children and different things that we have to do to be able, got it, okay, good, that we have to do to be able to attend these events. We need some ROI. You had amazing conversations. Like I said, you ate a lot of food, which me personally, when I first started going to events, all I gained was weight. Because every time it always was at some restaurant, some bar. So I was either drinking or eating or both. So we want to have amazing conversations. We want to meet great people, but you feel like, okay, you're excited about it in the beginning. You think that this is going to change something, but you have to have a strategy at the end in order to make it change. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Basically, a method to help you convert those conversations into contracts, coaching clients, and have that mentality in your mind, but we're not going to make it complicated. We're going to make it simple. Okay, because you have a good, I would say, 72-hour expiration date after you've attended an event. The longer you wait to contact them for that initial follow-up, the colder that contact gets, because you give them time to forget you. And then especially if let's say your audience is a business owner, maybe we know as business owners how much stuff we got that's going on in a simple day. So the longer you have them having days pass and pass away, forgetting about what you talked about, what connection you had. So that's what you want to focus on. So after that, you're just another LinkedIn request. Or, just somebody like, okay, what did we talked about? Where do I know you from? Because you don't know, they may have attended another event. So what if I told you that it's only three main people that you should look to follow up with after you attend an event? Just those three. You don't have to follow with 30. You don't need to go through all of those business cards. And that's why it's important to have conversations. Those three connections can generate more with you, more business, more referrals than previous networking events combined. And I'll explain to you why. So many of you saw me speak at FinCon. Um, these are just two of the, I guess you could say, reviews that I got from that FinCon session. She said she could listen to me talk about styrofoam. Like, to me, that was the funniest review that I feel like I have ever heard. I've never heard anybody say that, but that's literally what I strive to do, to make my sessions. And of course, different stages require different sessions. So FinCon is a down to earth. We're showing up with our FinCon family, so you can be a little unorthodox or kind of like she said, off the cuff at FinCon. Obviously, if I was doing a keynote, it would be a completely different type of, I would still have jokes, but it wouldn't be the same style as that. But the point is to get your point across when you're speaking for who you are and what you do, especially you want to be speaking in front of the people who are your customers, especially when you're not getting like paid your worth. So I'm not against free speaking engagements, but if I'm speaking for free, it needs to be a certain amount of people in the audience that are my target market. If you want me to come and build a presentation for you, I need to have a certain amount of people in that audience who can be potential clients for me because yes, I'm here to help the community and I love what I do and I'm very passionate about it. But passion didn't pay for this plane. Passion didn't pay for this hotel. Passion not paying for any of these meals. All that stuff, they want cash money. So I have to learn how to run my business in a way that I can serve my passion, but also serve my wallet. Okay. So I started my business in August of 2017. I started out just providing education and I did financial coaching clients. I mean, a lot of times for free. Of course, it started out with my circle. So like the people around me, when they saw me doing better, they start to come to me to ask me questions. Yes, serve my passion and serve my wallet because you got to serve both. um, so in about 2019 is when I started to do like speaking engagements and things like that. But again, I did it for free. Gas money, an honorarium. Sometimes a lot of times things like that is what I originally got paid, $50 speaking fees. Or I'm sure if any of you speak, how many speakers do we have in the chat? Because a lot of people will say, well, you can get great exposure. But it's like if my audience, okay, but if your audience, your target market is not in the aspiring, okay, all right, let's go. If your target customer is not in the audience, what exposure are you getting? You're getting exposure to who? Who exactly are you getting exposure to? Because it's not going to equate to a ROI for you. But if it's like a nonprofit that you done if you have one schedule, okay. If it's like a nonprofit that you just believe in what they do and you want to give back, absolutely. I definitely agree with having like a corporate social responsibility policy, but I normally limit those to one a month. So if somebody wants me to speak for free, like a nonprofit, I can tell them like, well, I'm already scheduled for February. We can get something on the calendar for March. And once I get them on the calendar, the next person, you're going to have to go to the next month. So that's the way I do it. So I have a nice balance where I'm still giving back and serving my passion, but I'm spending the rest of my time serving my wallet. Okay. I started going to conferences and everything after the panoramic. Yeah, that's a great way to do it where you got to balance. You're still serving it, but you're also expressing boundaries with those companies because we teach a very popular subject. If we spoke for free and never charged anything for coaching or speaking, our calendars would stay full, but we would be booked, busy, and broke. And that's not cute. That's not what I'm sure none of on here are aspiring to be broke because the way that the cost of everything is rising, it's just not realistic. So I am actually a graduate of um the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women program. And one of the things that I really learned in that program is about setting up systems and processes. I went to that program in 2022. I graduated November 2022. And it's two things that helped me change the way I run my business when it comes to charging. One thing was I spent the first half of 2023 working on my processes and using what I learned in the program to actually apply it to my business. The second thing was I had a friend who kind of gave me my act right. She was like, ma'am, like you're creating transformations. You've spent hours, you're going to things, you're learning, you're reading books, you're getting certifications, you're doing all these things so that you can help them have a transformation. You got to charge your worth. And that's why you have people, they're not showing up to appointments because they don't value those appointments. They didn't really have to pay nothing for it. No skin off their back. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're late. They're not valuing it as much. So she kind of sat down and had a conversation with me because for a minute, it's about to close my business. I was sitting here literally asking myself, like, am I making my life too complicated? Like, could I just go work my 9 to 5 and call it a day? Like, I'm the one who started this business. And for a summer, I shut my whole business down because I was burned out. I was burned out. So I shut down for a whole summer and I said, if I don't feel better by September, then I'm going to shut the business down. And I'm so glad that I didn't because that was before the Goldman Sachs program. That was before my first FinCon. I believe that might have been in 2021 that I did that. I believe it was in 2021 that I did that. And then my first FinCon was in 2022, and the Goldman Sachs program was 2022. So just think if I would have closed my business and, succumbed to burnout. Um, but I say this and I tell you all of this because what really helped me is starting to put those systems in place and also being hyped up by my girls and them telling me and helping me build up my confidence because we're going to talk about that money conversation. That's another thing we're going to talk about today. Having the conversation about money. Is anybody here that feels nervous when they have that conversation or they automatically start explaining after they give their price or their rate and start giving a discount? I ran into a lot of people that struggle with that part of their business. Me, okay. A lot of people struggle with that part of their business and they struggle with being able to say, like, this is the price. I get nervous for sure when it comes to, yes, exactly, with speaking price, especially when you get to speaking prices, because speaking prices, let's be real, it adds some zeros on there. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking about hundreds no more. We're talking about thousands. So it can get a little nerve-wracking, like, oh, well, my fee is 25,000, like, and be able to sit on it. And so that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. Sorry about that. But so I talk all about this and I say all of that to say that half the time I'm still nervous when I hit the stage, every time I hit the stage. And I feel like that's healthy because that means I care about the outcome and I care about what I'm going to get up there and say. So I feel like it's very healthy too. But let's talk about what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about my 3-person focus framework, what I just talked about. We're going to talk about that money conversation. We're going to help you with the 72-hour action plan. That's where your workbook comes in. And it also has email templates in there that you can use to send to people that you meet so that, I'm giving you the 3 people, but I give you 3 sample emails. Now, of course, I wouldn't suggest just copy and paste them, put them to your words, but it gives you a nice template to start with so that you can kind of field the conversation. But one of the biggest things is personalizing it because the truth is 87% of people don't follow up after a conference. You don't hear from them again. So the fact that you follow up in the first place is automatically separating you from a lot of people. Okay. 10%, they just send, oh, just checking in. Hey, we met at this. Oh, it was nice meeting you. Nice to virtually meet you. Or they just connect on LinkedIn. And then that's it. You just engage with each other's timelines when you happen to be on LinkedIn. A rare 3% actually convert, which 3% is actually average for standard conversion rates. That's pretty normal. Like if you get 3% conversion, like when you're talking about numbers. But I tell all this to you because if you want to convert, you want to stand out from the rest. You don't want to be in that 87%. Okay. Because you're not trying to follow up with everybody. And sometimes that's what hurts you because you see that whole stack of business cards. My friend literally got a stack of business cards on her desk right now that I left at her house when I was there. because you get so many of them. You have to be able to decipher which ones you're going to. Then just be real. Sometimes we have the multi-level marketing that might have been at the event and they're trying to pitch you or they're trying to work with you because they want you to refer your clients to them. You know, we run into them because we're in the financial field, like just be ill, but this is the reason why you're not following up because you're not being strategic. So things are more scattered and scattered is it's not paying the bills. It's just not. So if that's you, that's fine. You're in the right place. So as I said, I need you to hear this, and I can't say this enough times. Do not follow up with every single person. You don't have to. The person who shoved their card to you, they didn't make any eye contact. They didn't have a conversation. They was just literally passing their cards around to everybody who had a post. That person is just out there passing that card around. You want intentional connections, okay? The one who talked about you or talked at you for 20 minutes, but really didn't have a conversation, no, we don't need to follow up with them either. The person doing exactly what you do and fighting for the same exact clients, there might be a collaboration opportunity or it might be a delete. You know what I mean? That's a determination that you have to make, but your energy is also going to be your currency. So stop spending it on people who can't or won't invest in you. So it's not saying it to be mean, it's being strategic. Like to be honest, it's business. And the difference is between networking and net worth. So let's get to it. This is the three-person framework. It's three people that is very important for you to talk to. The excited one, the aligned one, and community. So if you go to page 3 of your workbook, which honestly, if you want to, I can pause and put the workbook on the screen. Let me know if you all would like me to do that. Just type it in the chat and then I'll pause it, put it on the screen and we'll walk through it. But essentially, you're talking about three people that's important for you to talk to after your conference, okay? Because you want to figure out who is the person that you really, the first person is going to be the person that walks up to you after you've spoken or after you've told them what you do, and they say, "Oh, I need you." I need this. That's a very important person to follow up with because they've already demonstrated the need. That person sounds more excited, or the person who asks you off the bat, how do we work together? They're already sold. So you probably have one or two max people that'll do that. That's pretty much normal. The person who's aligned with you is the person who's generally everything is clicking. You get along well, everything is, you know what I'm saying? You feel that connection immediately with that person. Your conversation flowed. They have a problem that you solve. So that's the person who is like, okay, this might be a future ideal client where it's not as warm of a lead, but it's an important person to follow up with. And then the last person is community, which kind of speaks for itself. This is a potential collaboration partner. This is a potential referral partner because one of the things you have to do in business is you don't have to do it all alone. You have the ability to refer. And you ever heard of borrowing somebody else's traffic? Or like right now, I'm hosting a conference here in Atlanta. Baby, anybody, every speaker, I'm tagging them, I'm inviting them as a collaborator because you want to borrow their audience. Doing it by yourself and going alone it's a really hard game. So you want to find ways that you can use other people and they can use you together. And use sounds like a bad word, like just being honest, but I don't mean it in use like use them up. I mean use like be strategic and work together with each other. You can do a live together. You can come out with some type of package that has you both in it. Like your options are endless. And of course, talk to Chad, which is what I call Chat GPT, FYI. Talk to Chad, talk to Claude, find out different ways. Okay, this person does this, I do this. What are some ways that we can work together? Have those conversations so you have those ideas in your head. Um, this person maybe might serve your audience, but in a different way than you do, but it'll add value to them. Because that's another thing too. Once you get clients, your goal is to retain them. And you retain them by offering them value. Okay. So from the last event you went to, think about it. Take 60 seconds, write down three names, the first ones that come to mind. So go ahead and think about people that was either aligned, like where you all had a connection, a good conversation, and you possibly might be able to have them as a client in the future. And definitely the people who were like, hey, I need you. Because I've had that happen to me like all the time when I get off a stage of speaking, I have somebody come up to me and say, "Oh, I need you. I need what you do." So definitely those people, think of those three names. You have spaces in your workbook to enter them in because I want you to follow up with these people. So that's why we have this in here. Um, and it's very important. Once you write down who these people are, if you can get three names for each one, that would be fabulous. But I think I put space for one in the workbook. Let me go look. Doo-doo-doo. And this will be on page, what is this? Page 4. So this is page 4, the 7 2 hour window. So you're first sorting them. So you write down three for who excited, three of them for aligned, and three of them for community. I know it's only two there, but you can add another line. But the goal essentially is to get those names down because see, that's the thing too. It's not only them forgetting. You might forget because how many times have you been to somewhere and remember somebody you was talking to and you was like, damn, what was their name? Um, or me sometimes I remember people businesses, but I don't remember them. Like I remember, like especially FinCon, a lot of people who are like not my close-knit circle, I remember their brand names. I don't remember the person name, but I could tell you what their brand name is. So let me know when you're done, when you've written those three names. When you got your three names for each one, let me know. Well, I know Audrey, you might not be able to do it because you're on your phone, but other people, if you're able to write them three names down. I see we have more people in the room. Welcome. But yeah, once you write those three names down, let me know. Right, I need to do the same thing. Okay, done. Okay. Now that you have those names for those people, delete the rest. So now, because think about it, if you're attending multiple events and you follow up with every person from every event, personally, I use Airtable. That's one of the ways that I keep up with my um conference or in-person event follow-up simply because I have a CRM, but unless you took the lead from my email or my, message that I sent you and actually booked a call with me, I don't want you to um clog up my CRM. I want people who are potential leads to be in my CRM. So I use Airtable to just has like a little spreadsheet, has their name, first follow-up, second follow-up, third follow-up, and then revenue generated. Very simple. But I do it on purpose because ultimately, anybody in here plan on hiring somebody at some point in their business? Yes. Okay. So that's why I do the Airtable thing. Right now, I'm doing it. But when I hire somebody to do it, I literally have nothing else to do. All I have to do is add them as a team member. And I'm sorry, I have a column on there too to add notes about our connection. So this method of only choosing three people per category, I put those 9 people in Airtable, put what we talked about, and then that person would take that over. And that way, when it comes to me hiring that person, I already have my system in place where I'm literally just passing it over. So you see what I'm saying? It's like one of the big things that I've learned and that I learned at the Goldman Sachs program is the difference between an entrepreneur and a CEO. As a CEO, your job is to be out in rooms, talking up your business, building new clientele for your business, making new connections for your business because you have created a system that you have other people running the system that you created. So essentially the things you're doing now, if you're planning on hiring somebody, don't wait till the end and do all that work then. Or even worse, don't wait till you hire them. Now you got to do all that work while they're on your clock. Start now. And even though it might be a slow process, start setting those things up now. So then when you get to hiring somebody, that's something you could pass off first. Bam, here you go. Now you don't even have to write the emails. You talk to them when they on your calendar. Because if you have a CRM or even if you use Calendly or whatever, your assistant, your executive assistant, VA, whatever, would send them the link. They jump on your calendar. All you got to do is check your calendar every week and plan accordingly. All the other part has been taken care of except you being physically at the event. So that's what it's like doing. It's setting up a system for you. So let's get into the emails. Once you have those 9 people, we're going to talk about 2 of the emails. One of them is for the excited one. Now, to refresh your memory, this is the one who said, "Oh my God, I need you. Like we need to work together." That's this person. So if you notice one thing about all my email templates, they're going to say something specific that you all talked about. So that's why I put that extra column that I can put a note about what we talked about so that you can add something personalized. You never want them to feel like you just sent them a copy and paste script. It makes it seems robotic. It makes it feel like there's nothing personal about it, and it doesn't seem like a real connection. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I add those different parts. Feel free to use this template, make it your own, add something that you know you're always going to talk about, because once you decide who your target customer is, what services you offer, you're going to find yourself repeating some of the same phrases. Like I could tell you right now, I got give yourself grace. Um, Money management is a form of self-care. I have things that I say all the time because that at this point is my brand personality. Those things you can probably throw a little bit in there because when you throw it in there, it's going to automatically feel personable because that's what y'all talked about. So there you go. And this email, I believe, is on page, oh no, this is on page 6. This is on page 6 of the workbook. Okay. So use it, copy it out of there, make it your own. Um, but the goal is that it shows that you were present in the conversation with them. Okay. You want to create scarcity, be specific. Here's my calendar link. That makes life easy. You don't have to do the back and forth emails about, well, are you free next Wednesday at 3 o'clock? Oh, no, I can do Thursday. Just send them a calendar link. Let them hop on your calendar. When they click that link, that's an actual qualifier. Once they click that link and they decide to jump on your calendar, that means that they're interested in talking to you about something. So now you know, okay, I got a sale. Oh, yes. Can you drop the link, the workbook link in the chat again for Dana? Could you please? Because she said she had to join late. Oh, you like the email templates. Good, good. There you go, Dana. There go the link. Glad. Thank you for saying something. Um, but yeah, so the goal is to show that you're present. You don't want to feel like you're sending like this mass email or you've blind copied 50 people. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for something that's going to create it. And one click, bam. Um, the goal is to not overcomplicate it, and the goal is to build a process. So it's like it gets to the point that this is your system, this is how you work, and it doesn't feel like you're just operating your business. 3 days after the conference, you can probably spend an hour and a half each day. Honestly, for 3 people each day to send an email, you could probably take an hour. So when you're heading to an event, you'll already have in your mind, okay, the next 3 days after it, I'm going to take an hour each day. You know what I mean? And then bam, trust me, like it will lead to some wonderful connections. For me personally, it has. So this email is for the aligned one. And like, so just to refresh your memory for that, the aligned one is the one who you all had a good connection. You see them as a possible potential client. The conversation flowed well between you two. And it's like, oh, okay. The goal is you're following through to be helpful with this person. You want to add them a little tip or something valuable. Because the goal is for you to position yourself as that expert that you are, but you're not directly selling to them. Like, what was your biggest takeaway from the conference? You're starting a conversation essentially. So this person might become a client down the road. And that's one thing I want to say too. This is a long game, like investing, like dollar cost averaging. This is a long game. I have had people that I met July. I have 2 people I met July 2024 that both hired me February for speaking engagements. So you see what I'm saying? Months later. but still fruitful, which also made the ROI for that conference even higher. You know what I mean? So everybody got this. I want to give you time if anybody has questions. Go ahead and drop questions if you have them, and then we'll keep going if nobody has any questions. All right. So moving on to the money conversation. Now, I saw Audrey shake that she does well with her money conversation. I saw her shake her head. I personally struggled with this when I first had it. Um, and it's possibly several reasons. Even some reasons relate to me, society conditioning me that I didn't belong in the room with wealth, and society conditioning me that wealth wasn't synonymous with me, that, my existence was synonymous with struggle. And those are things that I had to get out of my head. That was the first thing. The second thing is I had to be confident in the product that I was delivering. I had to be confident that the product was going to do what I said it was going to do, because the more confident you are in your product, the better able you are to sell it. Okay. So, with that being said, a lot of people freeze during this conversation. And it depends, because sometimes you can kind of beat them to the you can beat them to the punch, and you can ask them what's their budget. But sometimes they beat you and they'll say, okay, what's your rate? And I think it's very important to have this conversation early. We're not waiting to call three to discuss how much money you're going to get paid, because a lot of times you get to call three and they're like, oh, you wanted to get paid? Like, yeah, don't you get paid? You at work? So why do I not want to get paid? And so I've even had people, municipalities tell me like, oh, where normally people come in and they do it for free, and in exchange they just get customers. And in return, we'll market their event or things like that after we build a relationship with them. So essentially the first time you're rolling dice, because you know partial the demographic of their employees or their members or their participants, but they're not giving you a full list of demographics for you to be able to say for definite, my people are in this room. With a conference, you know who's attending the conference. If it's an engineer conference, you pretty much guess it's going to be engineers there. But if for some company, you don't have that. And they're like, oh, well, so that's why you want to have that conversation in the beginning. And you want to use language that your services come with money. So I had a friend, we was having a conversation. I have like a mastermind I do on Wednesdays, just friends, like not like it's just us friends that do. I actually started it with FinCon people. And that's the conversation we were having. He was saying, I keep meeting people who want me to do it for free. Like they never offer to pay. I said, well, like you met me at a conference and talk to me about what you do. And the first thing he said, he was like, well, I'm really passionate about I said, see, that's your first thing. Passion and pay, sometimes you sound like you're a nonprofit. That's what that I told him, that's what it's giving. It's giving nonprofit. So it's not giving, this is a service that you offer to level up organizations and to elevate their organization and help them um increase their revenue and minimize losses. That's not what it sounds like you do to me. You need to explain it in a way like that and say, well, normally companies contract me to, or normally I'm hired to. But some people might ask you, okay, well, how can you help us? Or what can you do to work with us? That's when it's your turn to use language that indicates it's a cost that come with me. You know what I mean? I'm not a free service being offered. You know what I mean? So it's important for you to use language to let them know that. That's the first thing. The next thing is making sure that you practice your price so that you don't stutter over it. You sound confident when you say it. My rate is bland. Should we explore a fit? No, should we explore if it's a fit? My rate is this. And if it's something where you don't know exactly what they want, give them a range. Because technically you answered, but you didn't answer. So they might say, okay, well, what's your rate? Well, typically my rate ranges from about 3,500 to 15,000. It really just depends on your organization's needs and what a successful event for you might look like. So technically you gave them an answer, but you didn't give them an answer, but you gave them a minimum that you're willing to accept. So at this point now the negotiation can begin based on what exactly they're looking for you to do for them, because they might want you to create a new presentation. They might have saw one of your signature talks and want that. It might even be a client, if it's looking like your coaching services and they're looking to get coached by you, then your rates are typically already set. And I know we find ourselves sometimes because we're really passionate about this work. And we're like, oh, well, I could just, I normally charge 150 an hour, but we can do 69. And a lot of times that bites us in the butt later, because a lot of times we end up having a lot of trouble and then we end up saying like, dang, I was on this call for 3 hours, things like that. So what I suggest is when you say your rate, count to five. Don't feel the need to fill up that space. Don't feel the need to say anything after your rate. Your rate is your rate because you cannot charge your worth. It's too expensive. So you're charging a rate to them. And with that rate, you're basically saying, my rate is $5,000 and sit on it. This is their opportunity to respond, or even earlier in the conversation, you can ask a question like, oh, well, what do you usually pay for external resources like this? Or what have you paid in the past? Oh, no problem. Have a good one. But what do you usually pay in the past? What do you usually pay for these type of resources or these type of events? Those type of questions you can ask just to navigate that conversation. When it comes to a customer, if they're saying like, oh, I don't really have it. Well, this is what my rate usually is. Maybe you can purchase a package and that will allow you to get it at a better price because you'll be able to get more sessions for a better rate. But these are the options that I offer, and you can make sure you have a top tier, middle tier, and lower tier. So maybe you might have a full program, maybe you might have one-on-one sessions, but they have to buy a 5 session package. You see what I'm saying? Build out whatever that looks like and give them what their options are. And don't make it a whole bunch of options either, because if they have a lot of options, then sometimes they get overwhelmed and it's hard for them to choose. So make sure it's a very clear they can choose or not. And if you constantly word into people who like, oh, they can never pay my rate, then you might be targeting the wrong audience. And you got to look to target the people, because that's something that I had to learn also at the beginning of my brand. I was targeting the wrong people because, again, I was very passionate about this work and I really want us to do better with our money. Baby, when I first started speaking, my range was free. Was free, and then from free, I went to like, I think like it was honorariums. Then I even got paid $50. I talked about that. And then I think I got to 350. And then when I went to the program and I had conversations like the conversation we having on here and the conversations I have in my program, then I started to learn and I started to talk to other people. So that's why FinCon was a help too, because I start talking to other people and you'll see people ask in the chats or like in the FinCon Facebook group, like asking people what they charge for this or that. So that was important. Two was the program, and three was people knowing my worth and checking me on it. Like, to be honest, just calling it what it is. And sometimes we need that because sometimes they're on the outside looking in like, girl, you don't remember you had that person that was in tears at the end of your session? Maybe you're creating a transformation. They can Google all they want to, but first of all, it's going to take them a long time to Google to get all the information that they want. Even if you put every single video with a how-to back to back on your YouTube channel with the series, for them to actually implement it, sometimes that's still not possible. So it's a service and a value and a transformation that you are offering that they wasn't able to do it by themselves. And especially if you have a heavy focus on mindset. So learning your value, clocking your transformations that you've created with your customers also helps you. But first speaking, baby, I was speaking for free because one, I wanted to build what my style looked like. I wanted to get proficient where I was more confident when I was speaking. I needed them logos for my social proof. I needed videos and pictures of me speaking. So out in the beginning, that was the type of currency I was getting, pictures and videos, or just being able to say I spoke there. That's to be completely honest and transparent. Like I don't sell smoke signals. I tell the truth. I was not getting paid. But the next part about when you go to a conference or an event is you don't need to make like a whole bunch of content about the event. One thoughtful post with three takeaways from that conference or event, tag two of the speakers, maybe that you had, tag two speakers, and include a photo. So I talked about this at the session that I did in FinCon. When you're at a conference, take pictures with the people, take pictures of your food, take pictures of a speaker that's on the stage. And those are the type of things you can add to this post. You can probably put two, three on there and post that same post on LinkedIn in the morning, copy it to Instagram for lunch, maybe Facebook if you want to do a Facebook. The question to ask is, what are the two top platforms where you post content? Where is your audience at? Because you don't have to post on all of them either, but that's another conversation. You want to pick the ones that your customers are at and have your top two that works for you. Because you're not trying to go viral. The goal is for you to put it on there that gives you social proof. When you are meeting people at different events and doing things, you meet them at the event. When they go look at your social media, then they're going to be able to see, like, oh, okay, because I get that all the time. People tell me all the time, like, girl, you be out here. But it's really just being strategic about me posting about what I've done. And that helps me have content, but also shows that I'm out here doing the things. I'm out here doing professional development, gaining more knowledge, because more knowledge, more time and energy, my rate is going to continue to go up because I'm beginning to, I guess, polish my platform or polish my program, polish my business. So as my business evolves, obviously, like they say, yesterday's price is not today's price. So as you go into your 72 hour action plan is basically for you to send that email to the excited one that's in your workbook. That's the day one activity for you to do. Day two is the emails to the aligned one. Now, full transparency, if you're able to send all of these in one day, the first day you get back, go for it. Because then that's done. You sent the follow up. The goal at that point is to remember who you sent the email to so you can follow up in a nice time. It's very important because one time you send an email, especially if they're busy, your clients are working people. Obviously, they're working because that's how they're able to pay you for financial coaching. If it's speaking engagements, you're talking with business professionals also who they're busy. So sometimes you might send them an email and in their mind, they were going to reply, but they forgot. Something happened, they forgot all about you. Send a follow-up. You'll be surprised how many times people say, "Oh, thank you so much for following up with me." Okay, yeah, let me get on that right now. Because they forgot about it. It wasn't intentional at all. So I would say after three emails, and even at the last email, you might say, okay, just wanted to reach out one last time, just following up. I just wanted to, touch bases one more time, something to let them know this is their last communication. Like I'm not going to spam you. If you don't want to respond, you're no longer interested, that's fine. And you make note of that. That's why I say it's good to keep track. Because you'll make a mental note of that. So kind of to your point, Malika, I will do better than tell you about my fees. I will show you actual invoices. So if you look at this, like I said, in oh wait, hold on. Yes, you will get a copy of the recording. Yes, you will. But yeah, so this is actual screenshots of my um invoices that I received. And I'm gonna break down a part of it that, oh, you're welcome. A part of it that you technically don't see by just looking at the invoices. So hopefully you all can see these. I tried to fit them both on the same page. But like I said, when I was in the Black in Business program, my fees were lower. This speaking engagement I actually negotiated while I still was in the Black in Business program, but it just wasn't scheduled until January and April, financial literacy month. But as you can see, my fee was 350. But you see the second invoice in September of 2024, it was 5,000. Now, let me tell you the big difference in these speaking engagements that you might not think. This first one was a personal finance workshop for 60 minutes. And so, for those of you who speak, that means I had to prepare a presentation, I had to practice it, possibly had to do some research or, go pull like this, go pull screenshots and things because I like to be very transparent in what I do. I did all of that and I only got paid 350. If you look at the second one, it was just a fireside chat. No, no presentation created. I literally just showed up and talked. That's it. I showed up and talked from what was in my brain, and I got paid way more. And that's the difference of when they ask you what your rate and you tell them. And not to be funny, and this might sound wrong, but if you tell them your rate, and when you tell them your rate, they're immediately like, oh yeah. And you probably charge too low. Just being real, just being real. But that's the point of me sharing and showing you this because putting it, and I would love if you all put the 72-hour action plan to work, you used your workbook and it was fruitful. Please feel free. Comment on a post, send me a DM, send me an email. I would love to hear. I love to cheerlead for people and see us going out and getting what we want because we started a business, yes, to help people, but we also, oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's the energy we're talking about, Malika. Exactly. Putting it to work tomorrow. And so at the end of the day, I just gave you everything, like the framework for it. Using that, that should help you. I gave you the scripts, the email. I've been doing this for a while, so I definitely love to share with you what I did. Like I can say I actively did this. But it's important to know how to apply it, how to implement it. So unfortunately, some of you all won't still send the emails. I would love for everybody on here to jump off and send them. I do realize some people are busy sometimes, and in reality, sometimes you need a push. Sometimes you need help because sometimes you're second guess every word you type, or you're second guess when you send this email or that email. Like, well, should I say this? Well, no, let me take that out. And sometimes you need that extra push, that extra nudge, the extra accountability, that extra support. You'll negotiate against yourself before they even respond to the email. You know, a lot of times life happens and things get pushed to the side, but that doesn't mean that they're not want to work with you. Because sometimes people might do, oh, that's even better. Let's go. Send now, no hesitation, no second guessing. Okay, Dana, that's the energy I want because you will be surprised how many wonderful connections you make, and how much business you generate. Because at the very least, you want to build advocates for your business who will be like, oh, you haven't met Dana? Oh my God, you need to work with Dana. Dana is this. I met her at such and such. Oh, she's awesome. You want to create as many of those people as possible so that your name can continue to be spoken rooms where you build your business to the point where you have a consistent referral coming in, where it's like you're doing the work, but not having to do all the work. A lot of people do that. A lot of people second guess themselves. So that's why I bring that up because I've seen that like in real life. And I want people to not negotiate against themselves. But when that does happen, sometimes that's a confidence issue. Sometimes it's other things. So, and sometimes it's that you need more than just information. You need an implementation support. You need support with actually putting it to work, putting the game plan to work, or you need more than just this 72-hour framework. You need other parts of your business, building your speaker. Who is your audience? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you might need extra things like that to go with it. And so that's one of the reasons that I created the Practice the Profit Academy. So I created it because I wanted to build something that helped people skip over the years of mistakes that I made because my first clients that I even was trying to help, I was out here doing all the things. I started a Facebook group, I had a course, I did all those things, but the people that I was looking to help didn't have money to pay me. Secondly, they had so many other priorities going on that getting help with their finances wasn't a priority at that time. they had bigger fish to fry. So that was something that they had to put on the back burner because they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So that's something that I had to learn, that I need to target people who can actually afford to pay me. And the same thing goes if you're a speaker. If you're a speaker and you speak at small startup nonprofits, it's very likely they won't have money to pay you. So you have to learn how to build out your business for a audience that actually can pay you, audience that needs your services, where you solve a problem for them. And to be honest, if you've ever felt like you chasing people down to get money or things like that, you might need a little bit of a tweak also to what target market you're going after, because it shouldn't feel like I'm chasing you and dragging you by one foot and one pants leg in the room to try to get you to help you, trying to help you. So basically what the Practice to Profit Academy has, it has biweekly calls. I only allow 12 people max because I like to keep it more intimate so that we can like do real help. It has 4 modules, which I can actually show you. I'll show you like on the website what's in them. But biweekly calls, 12 coaches, and then the vault has about 25 templates. And so those templates can be scripts to use for the different conversations you have. It's emails to use. So it's just different scripts that you need, as well as it has a full workbook. Every single module has worksheets and things that you can do to help implement it, as well as there's 2 implementation labs. So to give you a better view of what like all is included in what comes with it, this one, it also has this bonus module that is like the accelerator. So let's just say you get the first part and you're a high achiever, well, maybe you finish things quicker. Contract negotiations, program development. Do you want to build out like a group coaching program? Do you want to build out, you know what I mean? Something like that. Passive income for coaches. So do you want to do a membership? Are you talking to do about doing a book? I am a 3-time author working on my 4th book. So things like that, so you can build additional income streams with the same business. Thank you. She just dropped the link in the chat. I mean, okay. So those are the type of things. And then building your speaker one sheet. If you're somebody who wants to be a speaker and looking to speak, what type of media do you need to have? How to go about that, getting yourself started, getting yourself positioned as a person of authority and a thought leader in your realm, so that when people think of that, they think to come to you. And building a signature framework is another big part of it, because if you want people to come to you and only you have to build something that they can only get from you. One thing is your story. Another thing would be a signature framework. And so the next question, of course, is who is this for? This is going to be for the coaches who are currently charging under $100 an hour, you're charging under $200 an hour. If you're tired of exposure and you're looking to get paid for your services, introverts, if you're looking to create systems so you don't get exhausted and burned out, or if you're just tired of winging it and you're ready to have something in place because you plan on having a bigger business. Like your small business is not always going to be small. You're going to have people who work under you that run your system. You want to start building those systems now. And then if you're somebody who's extroverted, but it's just you all over the place and you need to get a little bit more structure and systems ahead, because the goal is to thrive. That's why we're in the business for. And let's get to the conversation. Of course, we all want to have, how much does it cost? So actually right now, normally it's $24.97, but for everybody on this webinar, you would get it for $1,700, which is a total of $800 off. So the way that you would get it is one option on there that allows you to make a 3 payments of $600, or if you want to do the $1,700, then you use a coupon code to take the month off, which is webinar. Now, one client at your proper rates, depending on what you have them doing, you can make about $2,000 a month. That can help you pay for this. If you have a speaking gig, that's easy at $3,500. So it more than covers it. So it's not, I tried not to make it where it was super expensive. I want to make it where it's reasonable, but I do want to show you on the website. So she just dropped the link in the chat. Um, And I'm going to pause this and show you. So if I'm going to, oops, stop sharing, and then I'm going to show the actual website to make it a little bit easier. So if we take that off, minimize that, there we go. So let me share my screen again. Let me make that bigger, share screen. Bam, there we go. So this is the website to kind of show you what's actually in it, and you can see the modules to see what's in them. So working on your niche and your tech stack, what systems and tech do you have you use, working on branding, how to get found, get booked and paid. So that's your first module. Second one is conversations to contracts. So basically working on that money talk, working on converting the conferences like we talked about today, money conversation, enrollment, energy, follow up. So basically, like enrolling people in your financial coaching program. Then we got stage confidence, speaking business blueprint, like how to set it up, how to set yourself up for authority. So kind of like I talked about, being able to position yourself as a thought leader in a specific topic. So then when people look for that topic, they look for you. Next, we got business systems. So one of the things in module 2, I believe, and module 4 have implementation labs where we're not just teaching this stuff, we're not just talking about it. You're going to have time to actually apply it to your business, be able to get feedback about it, and work on it. And then, like I talked about, the business module, the bonus module, passive income, building your speaker one sheet, group program development and what that looks like. So this is wherever you want to take your business to the next level. Financial coaching is great. It's a great option for income. But when you're looking to scale your business or you're looking to expand your business, you have to look into different income streams because the reality is coaching one-on-one takes up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of energy. And unless you're charging each client like 5,000 each or, some high, really high amount, it makes it harder for you to build up your business to make enough money to have like an actual person to hire regularly on your payroll. So it's very important. And especially if you're somebody who currently works a job and you're looking to leave that job, things like that, you need to get your business income up. And so those are the ways you do it. Different passive income ideas. So membership, online courses, um, biz books, things like that to help you get more passive income. And then this is the vault. So this is just basically where the scripts and all of those things are for you to get. Now, the program launches October 1st. And so when you go to the website, when you want to sign up, you would use this right here, that 3 for 6, because these are from the regular price. So you use the 3 for 6, or you would click the 24.97 if you want to pay it in full, and then you will have to put in the coupon code and let me know if you have any problems. So I'll stop sharing and I'll go back, open it up for any questions that somebody might have, and just give you what your 3 options would be. But I'm definitely here to answer whatever questions you have about the program, what it offers. Let me see from current slide. Bam. Up. Good this. So let me pull this back up. Share screen 1. Bam. Is that the right screen? Bam. I did it. Okay. I have multiple screens at home, so making sure the right screen comes up is important sometimes. But yeah, so I'm here for whatever questions you have. You have 3 options that you're able to take advantage of today. You can join now, of course, it's always an option, as well as you can book a fit call, or you can register for, I'm actually having a second webinar October 24th. Okay, I'm actually having another webinar October 24th that'll be about working to get $5,000 speaking contracts. But I will be honest and say that the $1,700 price will not be available then. At that time, you'll only be able to have the $24.97 will be the only option to sign up at that point. So if you interested or you thinking about doing it, I think that now would be the better time to do it. Oh wait, I see a chat comment. Hold on, where'd it go? There we go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay. So there's the link if you want to sign up for the October webinar. And so that one, same thing, is going to talk about how to land $5,000 speaking contracts to help you transform lives and basically helping you price out your coaching program. Does anybody have any questions? I'm definitely going to try to follow up with Dana and who else was that? Dana. Oh, and Malika. Malika. Okay. Who said that they were going to implement. I want to see what progress they make so we can see. But yeah, if you have questions, definitely let me know. But you can schedule a fit if you want to see if this is a good fit for you, then definitely let me know. Or schedule for you can come to the October webinar. And then of course you can always sign up now. You're welcome. You're welcome. And if you want to sign up now and pay the full thing and you're looking for the coupon code would be webinar, the word webinar. So
Thanks so much. This has been awesome. I gotta hop off, but I really
we can't hear you. Yeah, you sound like a robot. We can't really hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you. We hear somebody talking in the background. So if you pay it in full, the discount code is about $800. I think it's like $797 of a discount that you get. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, and as like I said, you also have the option to sign up for the webinar in October, but that webinar I will say that the program is going to be more expensive then.
I think I
This is
missed
like
something.
pre-sale.
I think
You
I
said,
missed something. How long is the program? I'm like, I feel like I missed something.
oh, it's 4 months.
Okay, okay, that's what I was missing. I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something?
So
Okay,
each module is for a month.
okay,
So you
got
get
it.
biweekly calls for 4 months, and each module basically covers a month.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem. Do we have any more questions? I guess I can stop the recording now too.